Courtney from Las Vegas, greetings.
Hey Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm a horror fanatic. I love The Strangers. I love this film. So congratulations. I think
Thank you.
it's so hard to break into this franchise, with new characters and and this is just one of my guilty pleasures. So I'm so glad there's not just this one, but more to come, I hope. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Well, this is an origin story of the strangers going into the details of the killers and where they come from. And I understand this is the first film in a trilogy, right? We have two more chapters coming.
Yes. Well, actually, it was like one giant script, and we just made the whole thing. And the arc is like, it's like almost a 300-page script. So then we broke it into chapters because it would just be too long to tell in one movie.
Well, we have like a seven screen drive in here. So someday I hope you put these all together so we can have a massive marathon. That would be just the ultimate
Well, we
experience.
all want to do that. I mean, like, if you watch that film literally from start to finish in the full 4 hour-ish version, it would be like a horror odyssey. It would be super intense, but like so cool.
Oh, I'm ready. So let me know when it happens. All right.
Yeah, you'll be there. That's okay. We'll invite you.
Oh, wonderful. I got to ask you about the origin of that knock. It is iconic. And where did the idea come from? How many knocks did you use and all the different Foley artists? I mean, there's got to be a story behind that.
Well, actually, I mean, there was the actual knock on set, and as you know, we end up replacing most of the sound from on set because it's like a mess. So that's where the knock started as far as our movie is concerned. But they obviously started in the original Strangers back in 2008. It was always knock, 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 is Tamara there? Tamara there. So, it was on set that we had the original knocks. And it's funny because the first time that she was on the outside of the door and she went to knock on the door, literally, we couldn't hear it on the inside of the set because it was sort of like this. Like, so you couldn't even hear it. So we had to call cut, and then we had to say, okay, you need to knock louder on the door. So then the second time she knocked on it, it was like, right, because you had already given that note. And we're like, okay, that's fine. At least we heard it. We're going to replace it. Then in Foley, literally, it's funny you bring that up. They must have shown us 15 different sounds for those knocks. And obviously on that door, it's also got the metal thing that bangs against it as well with the pounding on the outside of the big wood door. And, we made them go do like another 6 or 7 iterations because none of those were right. And then they got one that we hope you all like, but we loved.
Is Tamara here?
Right, because sometimes I forget about it. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden that pounding comes on, and I jump out of my seat. So it really works. Also, the cabin behind me. I just think that's also just one of the iconic images of this series too. So, is that based on anyone's particular cabin in the woods, or?
No, not really. I mean, it was sort of just what we were sort of thinking would be an Airbnb, in a small town somewhere in Oregon, and it would be that sort of time. And we actually like went through Slovakia where we shot the movies, like scouting cabins, and most of them looked like they were from Slovakia. Right? And so what we ended up doing is we used an actual location for the outside of the house. That's real. We fixed it up a bit, painted it the way we wanted to, and whatever else. And then we built the entire inside on a soundstage and designed it with the production design department. So everything on the inside pretty much is the set.
I was going to say that Airbnb has no reviews for some reason, right?
Well, I don't think the reviews would be great there.
No
Minus
one,
5 stars.
I was saying nobody left to give them, right? So, and working with the
Not the
great,
only, yeah.
that's right. And one of the great Rennie Harlan. So tell me about working with him and what he brought to this series.
I mean, Rennie is like, first of all, he's a super nice guy. He's super tall, but he's super nice. But he brought like, I've watched so many of his movies for so many years, and I always thought I need to work with Rennie. He's like one of the best shooters in the business as far as just like, composing these shots, moving the camera like in exactly the right way, and finding, the right sort of, in this movie, suspense and tension that we needed the camera and the actual angles that we picked to help set up, because we were sort of going more to sort of a Hitchcockian type of look for things and feel, and suspense and tension was something that, from the camera all the way through to the sound design at the end when you're in post-production and everything in between, was something we were like hyper focused on. And he was on that journey and totally got what that vision was, because when you sort of walk in and say, hey, we're going to make a giant movie and whatever else, it's sort of like, a more of a showrunner situation. You know what I mean? Because there's a giant story arc.
Well, Court,
So he's like amazing to work with, and we had like an amazing time out there, living basically in the woods at night for like 50 days.
wow. Well, Courtney, they're wrapping me up here. Please tell me these masks are going to be available for Halloween. We've got to have these.
I believe they actually are, yeah.
I will
That's
get all
I
of them.
believe that's actually happening. Yeah,
Got it.
absolutely.
Oh, that's the
It's
icing on the
something we
cake.
asked for from moment number one. We're like, can we have strangers masks? Like, we must have them. And I'm pretty sure that they are coming out this Halloween.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations. And let's talk again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.